Hello everyone, this is Van, and I decided to actually draw and show you how I technically do my hands in the program Clip Studio Paint. I've been using this program for like maybe 6 months, so yeah. It's pretty much oh, okay, my pressure sensor went off. It's pretty much I work with like shapes, at least that's how I figured out it's easier for me. This is the base. Because when you look at your hands, it's pretty much just a square. And that's kind of how I learned it in like drawing class. If you heard my cat, that's my cat out there. Um, we pretty much are told to break things down into shapes, and I'm pretty sure this is like basic information for some of you because I mean, I think that's the easiest way to work. And after I just sketch out the shape, I mostly just fill it in. This is just a basic like hand pose, just a simple thing. And it's mostly just doing what feels right for you because we all have different types of hand styles too. Like I used to do like blocky style too, kind of like squares. And for that one, I hardly sketch it out because the flat form is already kind of a skeleton, or not a skeleton, but the shape. And then I just add like the knuckles, kind of define it so that it looks less flat. Fingernails, anything you need. Depending on your style, you can just change it up, make it look, unique. If I want to do like a dynamic pose, I just, again, sketch it out into a basic shape. This would be like the thumb area, because if you notice, the thumb part is kind of like an expansion, like a triangular piece, kind of like this. So you have the base, and then you have like the triangle of your thumb. So thumb goes here, pinky, ring, middle, which is usually the longest finger, and the index, which is kind of short, but not short, not as short as the pinky. My pinky here is a little too long, so I'd cut it down to here maybe, or there. And yeah. Yeah, for breaking it down into dynamic poses, I would more just experiment, kind of just go with it. If you have to, like, raise your own hand and look in a mirror. I know that's what a lot of people say, and it's probably not as easy as people say it is. I personally don't do it, but that's just because I always forget tips and information that I'm given. 1, 2, 3, 4, and always remember that there's 5 fingers in a standard hand, unless your style is cartoonish and it has, like 3 fingers, or your character or your species has 3 fingers. And then I usually work in layers. So I have my sketch on the bottom, and then on top, that's when I do a little bit more cleaner form. For me, I don't know what clean is though, so it's still gonna look like a sketch to me. And probably to you too. I don't really have any actual rules for it though. It's mostly just kind of do what feels right. I have a really lenient teacher in animation, so there's a hair in my mouth. So just, yeah, he's really lenient, so he's not like, oh, just follow the basic laws of physics. Well, I mean, he's not really like that, but that's kind of what I take from it. If it follows the laws of physics and logic and anatomy, then you're relatively fine. And it comes down to how you work. And when I work with the arms, I also add that little, if you look at your arm, sometimes some people have like the tendon that works right here. And let's see, how does that look? So that's kind of a sketch. I would probably fix the finger. Whoops, wrong thing. I'd fix this finger, bring back the sketch. I kind of like my underlayer to be really light so I can actually see what I'm sketching. If you have to zoom in, that's okay. So there we go. And then one thing to remember that, or what I try to remember, is that fingers are divided by webs. We're kind of like ducks in a way. Not really. But our fingers are separated by webs. So it can only go so far. It's like a limited amount of skin. So here's like a really rough example of a hand. It's probably like the nicest hand I've drawn today. Ooh, not that thumb. That thumb is awful. So we have a web. We have a web here, 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 and here. Here. Break the hand down. And then the knuckles are usually where the webs are. So your knuckle is like around here. Relatively. Relatively? No, I'm wrong. I just looked at my hand. I am so wrong. I've been doing hands all wrong. Your knuckles are right here. That wouldn't make sense. This wouldn't make sense. Knuckles here wouldn't make sense. We also have a knuckle right here, actually, but we often forget about that. So they all connect down to your wrist. So kind of like robot it. Like, you know, it's a robot, see? Woo! Then you connect down to here, which is where the wrist connects. So if you break it down, you've got one square, a wrist, a knuckle, another knuckle. Lo and behold, you have, okay, that square was a little too small, but you have a hand. There it is. So, yeah, I mean, for me, it just comes down to what your style is, you know, how you feel comfortable. But just remember that there's still, even if you go with a cartoon style like this, there's still kind of like a law that goes with it. You know, middle finger is usually longer than the index and the ring. Pinky is usually the smallest. Not that small, but you know, you get my point. Fingernails, we all usually have them. Knuckles, depending, is your character chubby, then they probably don't have knuckles, like me. If they're really skinny, their knuckles are more defined, probably reach close down to the middle of the wrist. Yeah, you know, just kind of keep going, keep experimenting. Hands are pretty scary in general, but they're not impossible. I used to be terrible at hands. My hands used to be like witch hands, like this shit right here. Oh my god, it's a hand. And you know, if that's your hand style, sure, but I personally wouldn't like this, but hey, if it's your style, please go ahead. Go ahead and do it. I also used to do hands really wonky. Like, I used to forget, like, there was a fourth finger on the top, and I used to just kind of like do this. You can do little teeny hands too. Oh my god, it's a tiny hand with 3, 4 fingers. There it is. Baby hand. How you doing? But yeah, just keep experimenting. Don't be afraid. And just keep going. Same thing goes with feet, but I still suck at feet. I'm going to draw a quick foot right here. And we're already off to a bad start. I usually start with the toe. There you go. And there's a sketch. That's the ankle. Then we go off into the leggy. And yeah. And again, remember toenails. But that's a whole different thing. I'm not very good at feet. I still need help with feet. Why am I backslashing that? But yeah, that's how I do my hands, how I break them down, how I kind of see them. And I'm not great at them, but I mean, who is? So yeah, just, you know, go for it. Don't be afraid. This was Van with his or hers, whatever you want to call me. I don't care. Tutorial on hands. Have a good day. Enjoy this. Bye.